Hello, Heather again. Hey, one more video for you. Do some talk. This is Jeff Johnson. Got a book coming out Labor Day, Alt for One, One for Alt, with the great folks at NDSU Press. We had a question, one of the comment about Vidkun Quisling, which we could talk about that guy forever. So the book does a lot of work trying to just unpack the good and the bad of the Janteleuven, mostly perceived as bad. Also, from bad something good can come. Anyway, one of the most prescient stories to the 20th century history of Norway is the story of Vidkun Quisling. And who is Vidkun Quisling? Vidkun Quisling was the Prime Minister of Norway during the Nazi occupation and was a fascist and a National Socialist. Interesting character. So he became famous first for assisting in the Russian famine of 1921. Which was a big deal, and he became a little bit of a Norwegian celebrity for his help with the famine. So he did start out on a good foot. Of course, global rise to fascism. In 1933, he started the National Samling, which just means national gathering, and these were like the fascist parties in the U.S. and England. They were the echoes of fascism around the world. 1940, Germans invade, bomb the royal family. It's a big old mess, it's a big nightmare. The king will not secede from the throne, the Kongens nigh. Vidkun Quisling took that opportunity to take over parliament in what was actually, for historical purposes, the first radio broadcasted coup d'etat. So he went on the airwaves and basically said, National Samling's in charge, whole new regime. Weirdly enough, the Germans didn't orchestrate this. So the Germans didn't put him into power. He just said, okay, I'm the prime minister now. And eventually the Germans said, all right, whatever, dude, you got it. So he rose to power, total piece of shit, horrible guy. 1942, he formed the second government that was then approved by the Germans, and then he just started killing Jews. So he exported almost all of the Jewish population of Norway. They're almost all killed in the concentration camps. Just horrible, horrible nightmare. The term Quisling became an idiom for a reason. So what's fascinating about him really is that, so Germany falls, Norway's liberated, it's a big deal, and then they got to decide what to do with this guy and his cabinet. Now, the death penalty had been illegal in Norway since 1905. In fact, the last execution in Norway, I believe, was 1876 by axe, which, okay, hardcore. So they had gotten rid of capital punishment in 1905. Blurry time, there really wasn't a legitimate government. It wasn't a chance for elections. They just formed a parliament, said they're the government, and then they put a bullet through that guy's head. So the last person executed in Norway by capital punishment was their prime minister and I believe the interior secretary, or their version of the interior secretary. So when you end capital punishment that way, boy, that sends a message to the next person in charge. And that moment in Norwegian history is fascinating because after that, the good men and women who took over the leadership of Norway had a much different position. So failed state, decimated economy, poverty, but they did the right thing. They reformed. And the term Quisling today now means a pretty bad thing. But he is a vital part of Norwegian history because it was at that point that Norway turned and really focused on their social democracy and their democratic principles, which they hold pretty high up. So you're not going to get a better example of the Janteleuven self-hate, seceding to the power of the state, letting the state make a dictate for your life, than the rise to power of Vidkun Quisling, and then you'll also not see a better success story after his death. So that's in the book. Hope you dig it. Labor Day 2026, ndsupress.org. Check out the book. Tusen takk.